Hi, my name is Judith Mocha Danielson, and I'd like to welcome you to the Transreality Storyboarding Framework lecture as part of the AR for EU course in Advanced AR. I'd like to welcome my colleagues, Carl Smith and Jazz Rasul.
Thanks, Judith. So I direct the Learning Technology Research Centre, which is part of Ravensbourne University, London. And we're very interested in giving you the tools needed to create immersive experiences.
Thanks, Carl. I'm Jazz Rasul. I'm a research fellow at Ravensbourne University, London, working with Carl at the LTRC. And together with Judith and Carl, I'm responsible for creating the Transreality Storyboarding Framework that allows people to create experiences across many different realities.
Hello and welcome to this lecture. It's called Transreality Storyboarding. Today we will talk to you about a process, Transreality Storyboarding, and we will introduce a framework that is based on several methodologies that are part of this process. My name is Judith Mocha Danielson, and today I will present this lecture with my colleagues Jazz Rasul and Carl Smith. The lecture today, we will talk about the motivation. Why is this approach of interest? How does it help us with the human-computer interface to products that we create? And we will talk about we will introduce the Transreality Storyboarding Framework, and we will introduce some cases that have emerged from the use of this framework and that have contributed to the framework in itself. My colleagues will take over in parts 2 and 3. First of all, there are students in different types of creative design industries. This can include fashion, architecture, media, and digital design. These are just examples. I'm sure you can think of others. Students in these industries, they need to become skillful and experienced in different types of production techniques and technologies. They need to make use of different types of tools. So, well, some of the simplest might be illustration, although that in and of itself is not simple, but you might think of that as using less technology. In addition, they may make use of 3D models, they make physical models, they may use digital technologies to create augmented and virtual reality experiences. Working with media can be difficult, but it also makes a difference in the end product as how we perceive these products. And we perceive them with different senses. Sometimes we see, hear, touch, taste. There are many different types of senses that allow us to interact with these creations. And in addition, there's different types of expectations about how you interact or engage with products. For example, to be able to walk through a museum and hear a narrative, that's sort of a passive engagement or passive interaction. Other types of products may require feedback and more active engagement with the senses. So we're going to talk about the engagement and in addition to the senses. Why do we care about the human-computer interface? Well, depending on what is created and how we interact with that technology, that experience or the environment, the learning environment can create different affordances for learners. So if we are, for example, an architect and we want to learn how to draw or how to create a building, we might draw it, and our interactions and exercises with pen and paper will be different from our interactions with a 3D model, will be different from our interactions with a digital representation, perhaps using augmented or virtual technologies. So we want to be able to develop and understand what is the expectation along a continuum. And the image here is presented just to express a taxonomy of different types of realities. But we want to delve into how do you interact with the different types of realities. Design thinking was mentioned as a process and a philosophy, and it's used often in user interface design. It was presented in one of our previous lectures as well. We want to point out that one of the key points of the design thinking approach is that the user is at the center at every stage of the process, meaning that all of the user's needs and empathizing with the user every stage ends up looking back at this first stage and empathizing with the user, be able to understand how they perceive the experience, how they interact with the experience, how they sense the experience. So this is a very well-founded approach that can be used in combination with transreality storyboarding. And we'll go back to this later on as well. So we're now in the second part of this lecture, and I just want to point out that the Transreality Storyboarding Framework is made up of underlying methodologies, which we will also present. And I will turn the lecture over to my colleagues at this time. Thank you.